Vamos esta noche a clausurar el evento en el que hemos estado compartiendo durante 2 días de jornadas de trabajo, de aprendizaje, de crecimiento y desarrollo profesional, institucional y emocional. Una formal y afectuosa bienvenida y gracias mil a la señora Courtney John, presidenta de la American Library Association, que está con nosotros compartiendo esta noche sus experiencias y conocimientos. A la señora Valerie Hunsinger, que es parte consustancial de esta iniciativa que hemos impulsado desde la Biblioteca Juan Bosch de la Fundación Global Democracia y Desarrollo, y que gracias a la cooperación de todos y cada uno de ustedes, pues hemos podido articular durante el día de ayer y continuando hasta esta noche y en este momento. Agradecer al director de la Biblioteca Nacional de la República Dominicana, Biblioteca Pedro Mir, a los miembros de la Asociación de Bibliotecas Universitarias de la República Dominicana y otras entidades académicas, culturales e instituciones que apoyan esta iniciativa. A mis amigos, colegas, compañeros de trabajo, el equipo de la Fundación Global, y a todos ustedes por participar esta noche en esta clausura de la primera jornada del conocimiento, Centros de Información, Motores del Cambio que Transforman Vidas. Cada uno de ustedes ha sido motivado por este título que nos contagia, que nos inspira y que nos atrae a participar en esta jornada precisamente que hemos estado articulando desde hace un par de meses, porque en un momento, encontrándonos aquí en FUNGLODE, nos tropezamos con la pasión, la sensibilidad de Valerie, que está con nosotros, y ella pues se motivó a partir de una de las iniciativas que tenemos en biblioteca, Música entre Libros, y nos comentó que ella podía traer a alguien, o mejor dicho, que ella quería compartir con nosotros su experiencia a través de su trabajo en la Visilia Bococo Literacy Project, una iniciativa bellísima que vimos esta tarde. Y esa experiencia queríamos transmitirla en la República Dominicana. Y después, más tarde, ella me mandó una nota y me comentó de que la presidenta de la American Library Association también estaba motivada a venir a la República Dominicana. Ustedes no se pueden imaginar lo que eso significó para mí, para el doctor Leonel Fernández, para la misma doctora Cedeño, que recuerdo que fuimos a Chicago hace algunos años y tuvimos un compartir con el staff de la American Library Association, pero es una institución muy grande que tiene un protocolo y una agenda definida de trabajo, y fue un poco difícil lograr que alguien de allá pudiera estar con nosotros en la República Dominicana y compartir algunas de esas experiencias. Siempre me preguntan, ¿cómo ustedes logran que la gente se pueda involucrar en los proyectos de la Fundación Global y de la biblioteca? Y siempre digo, la amistad es lo que mueve todo. Las relaciones con las personas es lo que nos hacen encontrar oídos que escuchan nuestras peticiones y que acogen y se entusiasman con nosotros y comparten sus experiencias. Eso fue lo que nos pasó con Valerie, con Courtney John, que ya es parte de nosotros también, ha tenido esa oportunidad riquísima de compartir trabajos que nosotros hacemos aquí en la República Dominicana. Todo eso pensamos, pero compartir la experiencia de Valerie y compartir la experiencia, la declaración de Courtney John, presidenta de ALA, sería un poco egoísta quedarnos solamente con esa alimentación del qué hace la American Library Association y su comité ejecutivo, y pensamos hacer algo un poco más allá. Darle la oportunidad a ellas que vienen desde un país desarrollado de ver que nosotros también estamos en la República Dominicana movilizando las comunidades y apoyando en la transformación de la vida de cada uno de sus ciudadanos. Pensamos rápidamente diferentes proyectos que se estaban realizando en el país para tener una experiencia, un compartir, un entorno dinámico para aprender a partir del quehacer de cada uno de nosotros. Y fue así como fuimos contagiando a cada uno de los actores que están esta noche aquí, que son ustedes, a que se involucren en esta jornada. La gente se pregunta, pero ¿cómo pueden estar 2 días trabajando todos de manera sinérgica? Y la palabra con la que yo quisiera resumir 2 conceptos. El concepto de entusiasmo, que es que según se define, es un motivador que contagia, que envuelve a cada uno de las personas que están involucradas en una iniciativa, y por el otro lado la cooperación. 2 elementos. Cooperación con entusiasmo. Todos nosotros hemos sido muestra de eso en estos 2 días de trabajo. Agregarle a esos 2 términos uno adicional, que es la cohesión. Cohesionar ese entusiasmo colaborativo para articular propuestas, proyectos que motiven, que envuelvan, que se difundan, que se promuevan, que nos vuelvan multiplicadores y que nos ayuden efectivamente a transformar las bibliotecas de nuestro país y a transformar nuestro trabajo con los recursos que tenemos. Entonces yo quisiera ustedes mismos puedan aplaudir esta iniciativa y estos paneles con los que hemos estado trabajando ayer y hoy. Un aplauso para ustedes primero. Y luego quiero introducir a nuestra invitada especial de esta noche, a Courtney Young. Courtney es una bibliotecaria docente que ha estado inmersa por muchos años, ha recibido distintos reconocimientos por su pasión y por su vocación de trabajo. Es una mujer que ha dedicado su vida al trabajo comunitario y al trabajo de las bibliotecas. Y Courtney pues va a estar con nosotros compartiendo una declaración de los derechos de las bibliotecas. Courtney es la presidenta de la American Library Association, que para que ustedes tengan una idea, afilia a más de 62,000 personas a nivel mundial. Es la entidad que define las normas y el protocolo, la normativa legal y todas las acciones que mueven a cambiar al profesional de la información, de las bibliotecas y de sus servicios. Courtney Young es además una experta en estudios de la mujer, es una destacada activista de las labores del profesional de la información y ha sido reconocida en distintas ocasiones por su vocación de trabajo. Hemos tenido una jornada larga, yo no quiero agotarlos con mis percepciones, yo quisiera que ustedes mismos se puedan llevar la percepción del trabajo y del esfuerzo y aplaudir, por supuesto, a nuestra querida Courtney Young, que está con nosotros, por dedicar estos 2 días de su tiempo a estar aquí en la República Dominicana, escuchando nuestro trabajo y nuestros proyectos. Muy buenas noches y vamos a darle la bienvenida a Courtney Young.
I should let you all know that my mother, who passed away in 2002, had a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in Spanish literature. So she spoke fluent Spanish. If she were here, I'd like to think she'd be here with me translating. I'm not quite as gifted in Spanish as she was, but I want to thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. I've had an amazing time these past 2 days at this conference, and I want to extend my sincere thanks for the opportunity. I'm always inspired when I'm in the presence of other librarians, library staff, and library advocates. We get a lot of really wonderful things done, and you inspire me and keep me invigorated so that I too can be enthusiastic about the collaborations that take place. Let me start by saying that I'm a lifetime library user. I've used libraries all of my life. I really do believe it's what led me to this profession. I grew up and participated in summer reading programs. My first job, when I was 15 years old, was at the St. Louis Public Library, shelving books. I've only worked in libraries. In college, I worked at the college library. And like I said, I just have not stopped working in libraries. And I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. So I know, both as a library user and as a library employee, the impact of libraries and librarians on our communities. Looking back, I realized that I wanted to be a part and play a part in having an impact on my communities. And while library use may not always create librarians or library employees, it always has the opportunity to have the impact of creating library learners and library advocates. Just to provide you with a little bit of context regarding the American Library Association, first I want to speak to our mission, which comes from ALA's Constitution. Our goal is to provide leadership for the development, promotion, and improvement of library and information services and the profession of librarianship in order to enhance learning and ensure access to information for all. Those key components, I think, are very important to what we do. Providing leadership development, promoting and improving library services, providing leadership to this profession, and ensuring information access for all. ALA is the voice of America's libraries and the millions of people who depend on them. They depend on our libraries. The association's goal is to see that all Americans have the information that they need to live, to learn, and to work. It is the oldest and largest library association in the world, and it represents all kinds of libraries, including school libraries, public libraries, special libraries, and the kind of libraries that I've always worked in, academic libraries. And representing all kinds of librarians and library employees, including those who work with children, our young adults, reference and instruction, technical services, and the list goes on. Now, I am beginning my term as president of the American Library Association. I took this office on July 1st. I've spent the last year as the president-elect of the American Library Association. And I worked very closely with Dr. Barbara Stripling, the 2013-2014 ALA president. On behalf of the association, and really on behalf of libraries of all types across the United States, Dr. Stripling launched a campaign. Libraries change lives.
Bibliotecas Cambian Vidas.
I suspect from the 2 days that I've been here that you will agree that her initiative focused on the impact of literacy, innovation, and community engagement. It provides every library employee and library supporter with an opportunity to highlight the transformative power of all libraries. For example, through programming, education, and collaboration. As an initiative, Libraries Change Lives allows the association to place a real spotlight on the very things that have been shared as a part of the conference. It serves as an affirmation of the work that librarians and their employees around the world are already doing. It validates us in keeping moving forward with our tireless efforts to provide services and resources for the present and for the future. What might be the most visible component of this initiative to date is the Declaration for the Rights for Libraries. This was unveiled at the ALA Annual Conference on July 2nd, 2013, when Dr. Stripling took office. Modeled after the American Declaration of Independence, it is meant to serve as a strong public statement of the value of libraries for individuals, communities, and the nation. This declaration's tenets provide libraries with an opportunity to say why libraries matter and how they empower communities. These include libraries empower individuals to imagine, to communicate, to discover, to achieve. Libraries support literacy and lifelong learning, creating the motivation and the opportunity to learn using a wide variety of tools and resources. Libraries protect the right to know by defending our rights to read and our rights to privacy. Libraries advance scholarship and research. Libraries help us to better understand each other, just as the translator is helping most of you to better understand me. And libraries preserve our nation's cultural heritage. Clearly, these are all important rights that our libraries support. The Declaration's tenets, of course, also provide us with some challenges. In empowering individuals, we must consider the diverse needs and priorities of our library users. How can we be all things to all people? And how can we be all things to all people and do that work well? In supporting literacy and lifelong learning, we need to consider new literacies of an increasingly digital world. Equitable access to information, including format and availability, is a major challenge. How do we balance what our communities want and what our communities need? How do we help our users deal with growing forms of information overload? How do we empower community members to tell their stories and have their voices heard? I'm very excited that since I've been here, I've already learned of a couple of ways that that is happening, and I'm excited to see more of them take place. The Declaration is very much a starting point. It's a starting point for libraries to work with their communities to meet these challenges, as well as other challenges we're not aware of,
lograr lo que son los
and allow these communities to achieve their aspirations.
Esto ayuda a que las
It is a
comunidades
strong advocacy tool that by defining the major areas of impact of a library program and describing it in simple, clear language, it can help open a conversation between librarians and their communities about the values that a library brings to the community it serves.
que a las que sí.
Lives are changed every day at our libraries.
Vemos acá que
Libraries support literacy and lifelong learning.
estos afectan
They are a great equalizer,
a nosotros damos
serving people of every age, every educational level, every income level,
de nivel
race and ethnicity,
ingreso,
and physical ability.
etnia y
For many people, libraries provide resources that they could otherwise not have access to,
a los que no podrían tener acceso.
resources that they need to live, to learn, to work,
Que necesitan
and to govern.
vivir para gobernar, para
Libraries empower individuals, they strengthen families, they build communities, and they protect our right to know.
familias, crean comunidades, protegen nuestros derechos.
In declaring our right to libraries, we stand up and we demand our right to a vibrant and effective library. And these libraries are of all types. In our declaration, our voices help make that difference.
Y entonces nosotros vemos acá que estos son uno de los puntos que pues dan.
So why is this important?
¿Por qué es esto importante?
Public libraries, for example, have long served as trusted and treasured institutions. And in the 21st century, librarians can leverage the strong position of our public libraries for the betterment of their communities. Today's public libraries in the United States are thriving technology hubs that millions rely on for computer and internet access. In fact, public access to computers in libraries continues to be one of the fastest growing services that we see in our public libraries in the United States. In this year, public libraries circulated 2.46 billion materials, the highest circulation in 10 years. Circulation of children's materials has increased 28.3% over that time and comprise over 1/3 of all materials that are checked out in America's public libraries. The composition of public library collections, as well as other types of libraries, has changed dramatically in recent years. Printed books are still a significant portion of our collections. However, there's also an increase in non-print materials, including video, audio, and electronic books that help to shape those collections. Libraries are great information equalizers, the only place people of all ages and all backgrounds can locate and freely use print and non-print materials, along with the expert guidance of those of us who work in those libraries, because that expertise is an added value. We all know that society is changing the way that it accesses information and the way that it consumes that information. We're all active in that process. There have been many times when I personally have been alerted to a breaking news story, availability of a service, any type of information, just by using my smartphone. And then I say to a friend or a colleague, what did we do before we could simply pull out a device, and swipe the screen, and get that information? It's so easy now, and we rely on it more and more. As society changes the way it consumes information, libraries, often as early early adopters of that technology, are evolving with those changes in order to serve the public and to continue to fulfill our role in society, leveling that playing field for all who seek information and access to technologies. The demand for library services has increased significantly with the growing need for access to and training for digital and online resources, such as continuing education resources, employment opportunities, and entertainment. It's increasingly the way that we connect with each other online. It's, I suspect, the way I'll continue to be connected to all of you here when I return to the United States. In the next decade, it is estimated that nearly 80% of jobs in the United States will require digital skills. But the Federal Communications Commission estimates that more than 60 million people in the U.S. lack the digital literacy skills that they're going to need. Libraries have a real opportunity to be at the forefront of closing what is going to be a significant gap. So what then for our future? I've already talked about the ways in which libraries have kept up with the changing needs of their users, especially as it relates to technology. Libraries are increasingly being known as innovation spaces, where library users are becoming the content creators. For example, maker spaces offer the opportunity for active learning, invention, sharing of expertise, collaboration, and the use of technology by community members of all ages. Young people are creating exciting, wonderful videos. They're learning how to code. They're writing and they're performing poetry in their libraries. Adults are turning to their libraries to develop small businesses, to learn how to knit, how to make jewelry, and how to create an array of useful and inventive projects using 3D printers. These new services and resources are a part of the 21st century library in the United States. And these are only the services that we know. There's always a new technology, a new skill, a new opportunity right around the corner. But the future is an ever-changing place, and that few people have really been able to predict. Yet is something on which we must continually focus. In that vein, the American Library Association is establishing a Center for the Future of Libraries. The goal of the center will be to provide library planners and community leaders with the information resources and tools that will help them better understand the trends reshaping their libraries and communities, as well as help them to incorporate foresight into their planning processes. This includes helping libraries identify emerging trends, provoking discussion on how to shape the future, building connections with experts and innovative thinkers to help libraries tackle these issues, provide a forum to share ideas, and this conference is an excellent example of a forum to provide that idea-sharing opportunity, and explore joint solutions to challenges that are facing society. We're developing new mechanisms for the exchange of innovative practices and providing an association-wide incubator for experimentation. Dr. Barbara Stripling noted, and I quote, "Libraries are turning outward to their communities and offering resources, services, instruction, and programs that empower community members to read, explore, collaborate, learn, and create. They also offer a safe and dynamic environment, a community space for conversation and discovery. Because libraries must change as their communities change. Librarians have an eye on the future. We've always had our eye on the future. They are ready to learn and adapt their programs as needs change, new technologies emerge, and the information environment offers new opportunities. By helping libraries better understand these emerging trends, the new Center for the Future of Libraries will enable all librarians to continue to be on the cusp of change. A national summit, Libraries from Now On, Imagining the Future, was held in May of 2014 in Washington, D.C. The two-day summit focused on the following questions. How do we think differently about libraries and library services? What are the societal, technological, and educational trends that will influence and shape communities and society that libraries of all types serve? What do these trends mean for libraries of all types in light of our values as educators, librarians, and community members? How can we build the public will to achieve a better future based on these values? Participants were challenged, and I participated and really was truly challenged, with remarks by 4 speakers from outside of the library world. Author and journalist Stephen Dubner, Lincoln Professor of Law, Culture, and Values at Arizona State University. Joel Garreau, Chancellor and President, Joel Garreau. Renu Khator, Chancellor and President, Executive Director at University of Houston. And Senior Futurist at the Da Vinci Institute, Thomas Fry, all spoke to us imagining what the future was for libraries, although they themselves do not work in libraries. Participants at this summit all participated in table conversations after each presentation, and really explored the ideas that were presented to us and thought about the implications for our libraries. Library futurist Joan Fry Williams synthesized and summarized the rich dialogue in order to conclude the summit, so that we had a place to start as our center moves forward. Lives are changed every day in our libraries. You all know that just as well as I do. Our libraries continue to support literacy and lifelong learning. They are a great equalizer in our communities. We serve people of every age, every education level, income level, ability. And this is important, that we serve everyone who comes through our doors. Everyone has the right to information and access to that information. Everyone has a right to read, the right to understand information, to transform their lives. For many people, our libraries provide the resources that they in no other way could obtain. And that is powerful and important to a successful, growing, thriving community. Libraries empower individuals. We strengthen families. We build communities, and we protect people's right to know. In declaring the right to libraries, we stand up. We demand our right to vibrant and effective library programs of all types. In that declaration, our voices are what truly make the difference. Muchas gracias.